Hi guys, a while ago I watched a few vids on modding a digital camera to be infrared capable, and after we upgraded ours it gave me the opportunity to have the old one apart for a bit of a peek inside. I also wanted to experiment with different types of camera shots, so I did a few drawings and put together some ideas. Noisy sod. I hope you enjoy the results. Because each manufacturer has a slightly different interior layout, there's as many vids on this as there are brands of camera, so I'm not going to do a detailed step-by-step of the process, just the vital stuff. For example, to modify our Fuji, I had to disconnect this ribbon cable to enable the screen to flip back to get to the sensor inside. So your own camera will probably have brand-specific connectors too. First things first, don't whatever you do touch any contacts between the flash and the capacitor. This is the component that stores the charge from the main camera batteries to power the flash. Capacitors are designed to hold far more than the source that feeds them, so the 3-volt output from the two AAs that power this camera in no way compares to the 330-volt whack this will give you if you touch the contacts. I'm not overstating this, please be careful. Judging from the vids I've watched, some camera interiors are way more complicated than others, so once you sussed out how to get past the other components to the sensor, you'll find this translucent looking little fella. It's the infrared blocking filter. This has to be removed to allow the camera to pick up infrared light, or more specifically, near infrared. Full infrared would be more like predator vision. Something else to consider. Be very careful not to touch the sensor behind the filter while you're in here. I'm pretty sure it'd be bad for future picture quality. There you go. One IR blocking filter. So there you go guys. All those videos that we upload to YouTube, that little sensor is the thing that does all the work for us. Once your camera is IR enabled, you need to filter out other wavelengths of light so that IR is all that's getting to the sensor. So your final consideration is an IR pass filter. For daylight use, like special effects photography, you need it over the camera lens to allow only IR light into the sensor. And for night use, you need a light source fitted with an IR pass filter to flood your area of interest in IR light. Simple. A rolled out ring of blue tack is a really secure way of fitting the filter to the camera. Not only is it nice and secure, but it stops light leaking in between the filter and the camera body. And the filter for the lamp just screws into the bezel after you've removed your clear lens. While we're on the subject of infrared, I thought I'd show you a couple of comparative shots of infrared reflective DPM PLCE kit just to give anyone who hasn't seen it in action an idea of the difference it makes. It's treated with a coating that reflects specific wavelengths of light to help it blend in with natural colours. From a military viewpoint, you'd much rather be the blended in Bergen wearer than the glowing target in the shelter. This is an old basher and it clearly demonstrates how the treatment can wear off over time. Green plants bounce infrared because they contain chlorophyll. The healthier they are, the more chlorophyll they contain and the more they reflect infrared, hence the white glow. On a tree, the bark is effectively dead and contains no chlorophyll, so it shows as dark against the living leaves. This natural effect is basically what the infrared reflective coating on military kit is trying to replicate. Here are a few other examples of everyday objects in near infrared.
There he is, Bandit, the killer bunny. Hello boy. Yeah, the beam is still far too pinpoint. I'm going to have to look into getting some sort of floodlight. I think I know the sort of thing I'm going to go for, but this just isn't up to the job. It lights up okay, it just doesn't spread enough. Far too pinpoint, especially when you've got a fast moving bunny. Oh, there he goes. Where is he? Escaping. See, there's the lamp, so it's definitely chucking it out, and that's with the filter on, the near infrared one. So it's definitely throwing the light, just too pinpoint. Bunny boy. Handsome little fella. You ain't gonna find your way out of a dark wood with this, are you?
To get some aerial shots, I made a really simple camera cradle with a weighted line you can throw over a tree bout or hoist it up. The basic slip knot in a paracord allows you to level it off. The initial test highlighted a bit of a problem. Too much wobble and spin. Until I showed my wife the test footage and the setup, and she suggested anchoring the cradle to the hoisting cord to keep it steady. There's a permanent loop tied in here with a clip attached, and once you've strung the hoist to whatever you're using, just clip on and lift. As you can see, it's a much straighter lift on only one plane without any of that annoying spin. Much better with the clip attached. For a handheld system, I wanted something that could easily be used one-handed and to put the camera and lighting together in one unit. I built a mounting plate with a lamp bracket and added a tripod screw to attach it to the pistol grip. The plate itself is a piece of aluminium angle iron cut and drilled to take the 4 bolts for the bracket and the screw for the camera. After fiddling about with a bit of test assembly, it all went together well, and the end result is exactly what I hoped for. An easy to use, all-in-one handheld. Everything right where you need it. To experiment with some tracking shots, I put together a cable camera dolly. It's just 2 pulleys from a sailing dinghy, some aluminium strip, a tripod screw, a rubber washer, and there's a slightly different lamp bracket on the base. For this I used the original bracket backing plate and 2 spacer tubes instead of a flat plate like on the pistol grip. Just goes to show what you can put together with a bit of R&D and a few spare parts. I don't know what something like this would cost you if you bought it, but I'm pretty sure this is cheaper. On the initial test, the pulleys were a bit sticky, so I put some of this TF2 Teflon bike lubricant on, and it has improved things a lot. You can also buy this stuff as GT85, which is probably a more common brand, but it's the same Teflon spray. Also comes with one of these little stick applicators, so you can get right into the pulley mechanism without making a mess. That works. Better than I hoped. With the camera and lamp fitted, it's already pretty well balanced, but I added a couple of paracord loops so I can use deadfall as a counterweight to fine tune the angle of the shot. Next I had to mute the light source. It's a nice powerful lamp, but it's a bit fierce for general filming. To do that, I needed to make a diffuser to even out the light into a glow rather than a pinpoint beam. And for that you're going to need a sharp pair of scissors and one of these. The only bit you're going to need is the centre bit here. So first job, take the label off, cut off the top and bottom. Because you're going to be cutting discs out of this, you're going to want flat bits, so quarter it. Using the lens from your lamp as a template, draw your circles. And finally, put it all together. Glass first. Then I'll pretty much do a set of 3, so you can vary brightness depending on whatever your filming conditions are, but I'll put them all in for purposes of this. And obviously you get 4 out of 1 carton, so you end up with a spare in case you get any damages or splits or tears or anything. But that's pretty much what it looks like. Far more muted filming light. While I was at it, I decided to revamp my old crossbow foresight into a camera mount. So I drilled a couple of holes to fit some bolts I had, but I drilled them a touch too small so the bolts would tap nice new threads through the holes. I also drilled out the top of the sight to take a camera thread and fitted a couple of retaining washers to keep it in place. Time to freak the neighbours out. I think the CIA have turned up. Nice bit of red dot. That really does do the job. We've got an upcoming night shoot, me and the missus. So you'll see a bit of this in action. It really does do it. Nice. And there's the Cree Ultrafire lamp. Light that target up. Yeah, it's not bad at all. It's a good little camera mount, that. Get some good footage with this. Roll on the night shoot. A bit of black spray doesn't hurt to match it all up and give the set a proper finish. I didn't want to have to lug around a full-size tripod with me wherever I went, so after a bit of hunting on eBay I found this little tabletop one with a hollow centre tube that I could dig the little rubber cap out of. So all you need to do then is chop yourself up a stick . And put your tripod on it. Simple, isn't it? Very user friendly. You can put a stick in the ground at any angle, like 45 degrees or whatever, for depending on the shot you need. And you don't have to lug around all those heavy legs. It's a bit subject to the wind of course, but I can't expect too much, it is only a stick. All in all, I'm pleased with how everything turned out, with the exception of the throw of the lamp when it's fitted with its IR filter. I tried using the diffusers for this to spread out the beam, but it didn't help, so hopefully plan B will be a vast improvement. God bless you, eBay. The camera seems to pick up and reproduce near infrared very well. I think it just needs a more saturated light source. Time will tell, so if you want to see how it turns out, stay tuned for an update. So I hope you enjoy the Gadget Fest, and I'll see you out there. Or maybe not.
Could be dark in the woods.